Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live. I'm Jenny Norris, your host, and I am the chairwoman for the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. And Home Staging Talk Show Live is a weekly segment within the staging industry where we talk about things that are working and challenges you might face, and we bring on outside guests as well. So this is our episode 98, if you can believe it, 98. I can't believe it. So very exciting. We've got 3 guests for you today. And let me see if I do believe, Sandy, I do hear a little dog barking, so that tells me that you are here. Oh, there's Kathryn. Kathryn, Swan, and Dismukes and Sandy Earnhart are joining me today. Sandy Earnhart, if you're watching, I don't see you in the studio yet. So you want to use that link and then come in. Okay. So there we go. Oh, there's no, let's see. Yeah, so Sandy, I don't see you yet. So just use that link and come in if you're watching. But we've got Kathryn Swan, Sandy Earnhart, and Dismukes. I'm going to share why we have these certain people on the show in just a moment. Hey, Virginia. So another week, it's fall, changing colors. I just love this time of year, especially where we live. It's really beautiful. It's going to be 80 degrees today, so I'm ready for things to cool down. I'm definitely a person that likes the cooler weather versus hotter, unless I'm at the beach or something or at a pool where I can jump in. But last week was our big conference. And so we did a virtual conference. I want to say a special thank you to Joseph Hecker, who produced it for us. And those of you that were, thinking like, oh, it's going to be another boring talking heads Zoom call conference, whatever it is. So Sandy, you're on. Just stay put, and I'll bring you on as soon as I'm done. So I'm glad you're here. I got all 3 of you guys. So just stay there. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to do my announcements, and I'll bring you on. But the conference, the way Joseph produced it was really, really great. It was interactive. It was interesting the way the video segments went down, and with all the speakers. So I was really pleased with how it all went. So if you were sort of reluctant to register and you thought that maybe, hi John, if you thought that maybe you wouldn't have your interest held, guess again. The way, again, it was produced, I watched every segment, and it definitely held my interest. And so we are still selling registrations for that. You can go to ihosvirtualconexpo.com. And, because we always want to continue to learn. And the great thing about, a virtual conference where things are streamed and then recorded is that you can go back and rewatch the content, and you can stop it and get up and go to the bathroom or answer your phone or whatever it is, and then go back to the content. And so unlike a live event, we definitely missed seeing everybody live and all the camaraderie and hugs and energy. If you have to go to the bathroom during a live talk, you miss whatever it's going on, just like at the movies. You can't, tell the big projector to stop while you go to the bathroom. So there were some benefits to having it done this way. And I just want to encourage all of you who want to continue to grow and learn. The content is really, really good. All the speakers really delivered. I was very happy with everything they shared. And our designation with Robbie, wrapping that up, that was an excellent session. And so that will be sold separately, the IHOSP CDE. And so I want to say a special thanks to the speakers for that session, which were Deborah Plowden, Kevin Tane, E.P. Nayar, and Orlando Reyes. His session will be attached to that for all people who happening. It's counting down again. Oh, can you guys hear me now? Hello. So Stephanie, can you hear me? Because all of a sudden the thing counted down on me again. So it almost like it was went out. So if somebody could just confirm you can hear me, I'll keep talking. So if you could just type a response. I know there's about a 10-second delay. Anyhow, our conference was really great, and we are still selling registrations for that. So it's ihospconexpo.com, ihospvirtualconexpo.com. Thank you, Marie. So I'm not sure where I cut it out, but anyhow, the speakers were phenomenal. I want to say a special thank you to all of them who contributed. They worked really hard, and their content is really good. And so even myself, who has been at this 18 years, there's always something to learn, and the industry changes and shifts. And so if you opt out of attending a conference and learning, you're going to be that far behind other people who did learn the latest strategies. Johnny Fowler, for example, did a 2-hour session just on marketing, social media, specifically Facebook, touched on Instagram, LinkedIn. phenomenal session, and he talks faster than I do, if that's possible. And so he crammed a lot of information in, ways to outsmart the algorithms, and people were taking notes furiously. And so that alone, and Chris Weidener's talk, people said that they were, a couple of times they cried during his talk. He's on day one, about leadership and the art of influence, and he has an amazing background that I, hadn't been aware of, could have easily gone into two different pathways, one a deviant pathway and one ended up where he is, a success path. And so there are choices we make in life, and being able to shift where people think you're going to end up, you actually have the choice of where this is going to happen. So his talk was really, really motivational, inspirational, and challenged us too to do some things differently. So take the time to get education and be inspired. Lord knows we're sitting here in our houses, and we're working and so forth, but life has changed as far as being able to interact with people, and so you need to stay energized and motivated for sure. So again, I want to thank everybody who contributed, and then Joseph Hecker for his production of the event. It was, as far as a virtual event, I couldn't have asked for anything more as far as how it came out. So everything is still going to be kept in the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. When you buy your ticket, you'll be given the code to access that group, and then you will be able to see all the sessions. We are going to parse out the designation, so you'll be able to earn this separately. So this one here, the IHOSP CDE, Cultural Diversity Expert. Again, really valuable information, things I wasn't aware of working with the culture. So they did exactly what I asked them to do as far as teaching us about the different cultures and what we can expect as a stager going into a property, how to be sensitive to certain issues, and just information in general, about changing times in the world, and really kind of opening up our minds to the fact that diversity and inclusivity are super important. So that will be sold separately for $175 as a designation, so people can continue to earn that because it's very important. Let's see here, some announcements. We have our advanced stager training. I'm happy to announce that we will be holding that February 13th and 14th in Jacksonville, Florida, or Fernandina Beach, Florida. So we haven't established the exact location yet, but it's going to be Fernandina Beach is about an hour from Jax. So beautiful location. We got a strong chapter there to help support. I will be teaching the master's course prior, so it'll be the 3 days prior to that event. We'll be teaching the master's course. I may also have a guest teacher who will join me to teach on another whole different topic. So we'll wrap it all together. So we're working on the details, but it is going to be a live event as long as we can have it live. That's the plan. And this is for six-figure and above stagers, six-figure and above stagers. So if that's you, and you are a six-figure and above stager, and you would like to learn from your colleagues and learn from experts, come join us. And of course, we'll make sure that we're practicing all the social distancing requirements necessary, for that time in February. But I deliberately picked a place that's warm, and I know that's Valentine's weekend, so you can bring your honey along. Make a trip out of it because it's a beautiful location. So look for more details on that. You can go to advancedstagertraining.com, advanced stager training. So I'll type that in here, advancedstagertraining.com, and you can learn more and register. So space is limited. So we do limit space. And so don't miss out on learning how to advance your business, knowledge growth, skills, and collaboration with others, and to get to your next level in your business. So I'm excited for that. Hope you guys are too. Next up, we have our senior staging specialist designation that we are rolling out. June Carter is going to be teaching that live via a online live on October 26th. And so you can go register for that. You can go to the IHOSP site and see information on how to purchase, registration for that. But to learn how to work with the senior population, or mature adults, as some of them like to be called. And so that's a whole niche service you can carve out. Some will deal with selling houses and so forth, but there's a lot of services we can offer these people that are sort of in conjunction with that, but go beyond just staging a house for sale. So you're going to learn about how to work with them, what they prefer, and so forth. And I greatly appreciate June for putting the curriculum together and for teaching this. So again, October 26th, another set of credentials you'll be able to earn through IHOS from one of our expert members who specializes in this niche. And, by the way, if you're watching and you're like, well, I specialize in something, and I'd like to develop a course around that, you can come email me, Jenny at IHOSP, JENNIE at IAHSP.com. And we can chat about that, because I am all for encouraging the development of education. And certainly if someone's an expert on a topic and we don't have a current person teaching that, I'm totally open to helping develop the curriculum and promote it, market it, sell it. And of course, you earn income as well. So you can always talk with me about that. All right. As part of our conference, we always do awards. So the Staging Industry Awards, there is a flip book, I guess is what I would call it, a program that says who all the winners were for the industry awards. So some of you won and you may not be aware of it. And so we're going to be notifying everybody. There's all the follow-up after the conference is happening this week. So the Staging Industry Awards were really fun to put together, and everybody who won, very deserving. Thank you to all those who submitted content and pictures and people for consideration. And so I have in our studio right now, we have two winners of the awards. We have that one, and where's my other little graphic? I guess I didn't get the IHOS Spirit Award in here. I'll do this instead. I have Sandy and Kathryn. Where's my little thing? So Kathryn, I'm sorry, I do have your graphic somewhere. So anyhow, Sandy won the Bar Toward Staging Excellence Award, and Kathryn won the IHOS Spirit Award, and Carl Dismukes, who's with us, won the Rising Star Award last year. And I wanted to check in with all three of them. So I'm going to start with Carl and bring you on. And Carl, we're going to hear about what your life has been like since you were the Rising Star in Nashville, right?
Oh, life has been busy. That's how life has been.
That's good. So for people who don't know who you are, I know I said your name, but let people know who you are, where you're from, your company name.
Okay, I'm from Panama City Beach, Florida. My company is Coastal Stage Designs, and I've been doing this now for about just a little over 2 years. So I'm still relatively new, but the business is growing and it's just going great guns.
Which is awesome. And so you were the Rising Star winner. So the Rising Star is the person that was in the business about a year or so, and we expect them to be a star. So you're Rising Star, and I think we can change your title now to a star. And you are definitely doing great work in your town. You're also a realtor, is correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And so how has that been? Because I know there's a lot of stagers who sometimes they want to get into real estate, or realtors want to get into staging. And so let's talk just briefly about how you have managed to run both sides of that business.
Okay. Well, going back a little bit of history, I was with a corporate job for a long time. And in 2017, they wanted me to relocate from working remote in Panama City Beach to New Jersey. So love New Jersey. There's nothing wrong with New Jersey, but I just wanted to stay at home. So I took a package and had to kind of figure out, what am I going to do with my life now? So I took some time off, and then I initially got my real estate license in like September of 2017. And then I started doing a little sales, and then got my ASP RE accreditation in February of the next year of 18. And then kept up with the real estate sales, because I felt like it was really important for me to understand the real estate industry in order to be a good stager. For me, I thought that was important to do, and to understand what buyers want in when they look at a house. So I worked then most of the rest of the year of 2018 as a realtor, but in October of that year, I got my full ASP accreditation. And then, like 2 or 3 days later, Hurricane Michael hit the Panama City, and everything just stopped for at least a couple of months. And we didn't know what was going on, what was happening. And so the staging took a back seat there, just trying to get through day to day. Luckily, my home was not damaged. I was okay, but I knew so many people whose homes were destroyed, damaged, with a lot of repair. And there are still people today not with their homes restored. So it was then March of next year before I really fully launched my business, Coastal Stage Designs. But that period of time between the hurricane and launching the business, it was very busy. And for the year of 2019, I was actually the top producer in the brokerage that I was in at the time. And all
Awesome.
the time building the staging business. But about mid-year, I really stopped really pursuing the real estate as heavily and focusing more on staging. So then, then in October, I did get the Rising Star Award last year, and then have been just going great guns with the staging since then. Of course, COVID did, kind of slow things a little bit, but, we were lucky here that I was able to continue working even through the lockdown because we were considered an adjunct business to real estate, which was an essential business. So I really think that the having that real estate knowledge and the relationships that I formed with other realtors is sustaining me now, because I have so many great relationships with them. I served on the communications committee, which I thought that was, with my background in communications, I thought that I was going to be helping with design or doing some things like that. But it's the party planning committee. So that was great, though, because I was involved with all the different events that go on. So I've got great relationships with the realtors. We're Facebook friends and have great relationships. And I can't stress the importance of that enough for a stager.
I 100% agree. I mean, relationship marketing, it just, you need to cultivate those relationships, and then those people become loyal to you as a stager, and then they're not going to be shopping you out to other people because they know, like, you're their person, they trust you, they like you. And so taking the time to cultivate the relationships is super important. So kudos.
Yeah. So and still today, when I'm still doing a little bit of real estate, it's mostly just past customers who are coming to me, and I'm either doing sales or on the sales side or the buyer side, and I'm able to work with the sellers for staging their properties, and then sometimes we kind of work out, how do we do this so that we pay it closed through commission. So we look at all the different options for how to make it work, and I think that's really convenient. I've even worked with other realtors and been co-listing on their listings. So I think that's really good. It gives me a lot more options to present to my customers, my clients, on how to pay for it if they are having some issues financially with getting their house sold. So it gives me a lot more options, I think.
I think having the foundation in real estate, I'm married to a realtor, so I became a stager before my husband was a realtor, and then probably about 3-4 years then he got his license.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hearing an echo, so I'm not sure if I'm being played. Two different things going here. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. Oh, Kathryn, you're in here twice. Oh, okay. I'm just going to mute you so I don't hear feedback. It's okay. So, but I think having that background and the understanding and the empathy for what realtors go through and being able to speak to that as a stager is super important, because so stagers that are watching, if you don't have any knowledge about the real estate process, maybe you haven't bought or sold a house, or maybe it's been a really long time, to understand that the hoops they have to jump through, and then how we can take some of their pain away, make it easier for them.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding, even when I remember when I took my ASP course, I knew how to decorate, I knew how to make a house look nice. What I didn't understand was, why would a realtor hire me? What is the marketing point? What do I need to be saying to them in order for them to want to work with me and to use staging? And I was in a market where staging wasn't being done at all. So this was, a long time ago. So that was my impetus for taking the course, which I'm very thankful I did. But I think every stager should have knowledge about how the real estate process works, and so that you can speak intelligently to the real estate agents about even just things like, when should they pick up the items. And so we're saying, well, right before closing, you want to make sure you're past all the milestones, that the contingencies are removed, or the subject tos, or whatever the terminology is for your area, and that shows that you're knowledgeable about the process. So you like staging better, right?
Oh, definitely. I think that I feel like the real estate was a stepping stone to the staging. So yeah, it's my passion, and it's where I'm going.
Well, you do a great job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I love looking at your pictures, and of course you also won best, I think, regular vacant and luxury vacant award
Right.
for this year. If you recognize, so his properties really look beautiful. So that's how I learned. I looked at other people's. Back then there wasn't a whole lot to look at, but I studied pictures, and even now you can take a look at someone's staging and go, I really like what they did. I like their style, and it's not like, you don't want to be like copycat, but you can use things to inspire you to do things differently. And Joanne Leonard Weary and Sandra Reyes did a whole session on trends, which was super valuable.
It was
My
good.
gosh, that whole session about what's coming. So those of you that, again, if you missed out on that, you won't know what kind of things you should need to be investing in for your inventory, or even colors and so forth that are coming. And they challenged everybody to get away from the blue as much. Although I really love this color. It looks good on me, number one, but number two, it makes me feel good when I'm around it. But we do have a lot of blue, and so the last couple of stagings we've incorporated some other colors in, just so it's not so. As Joanne said, the color of the staging industry was this blue color, and it is still very popular. Marine blue, it's deepening into navy. However, you don't want to mix it up, and so having fun with that, I think, is really really good to do. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you being on. I'm going to bring in.
Thank you.
Yeah, so say goodbye to everybody, to Carl. I'm going to go ahead and hide you.
Bye, everyone. Good talking to you.
Thank you. All right. All right. So Sandy, I'm going to bring you on. So she could be giving you a countdown. There you
It
are.
did.
Hello. You look great.
Well, let me just move over to the center of the picture.
I know. I'm like, where I go, you're going to see boxes behind me. I have things I still have to assemble in the house, and I hung 2 pieces
So
of
the
art.
aftermath of moving.
Oh my gosh. I just had the junk people up for the 3rd time yesterday to haul away, appliances. We moved in and there was a washer dryer. The washer ended up having a leak, so we got that out. We put ours, the one we brought with us in, but then I got them to pick up the appliances, and our neighbors are happy.
Good.
So tell everybody who you are.
Sandy Earnhart, accredited staging professional master and certified trainer with IHOS. Own and operate my own home staging business here west of Austin in the Hill Country in Spicewood, Texas. But I service all of the Austin, area. Also own my own inventory and, decor, accessories, furniture, that sort of thing. And have been on the board of my local Austin chapter since we rebirthed it about 9 years ago. And of course, I'm on the IHOS board, and that pretty much sums up who I am.
Except you didn't mention your
and most recent winner of the Barb Shores Staging Excellence Award, and I've got some big shoes to fill with some of those previous winners.
Well, and this is probably the biggest part of the virtual conference that I disliked, was not being able to give the awards in person and see everybody. And, certainly people were cheering for you and, saying congratulations. You got a lot of comments on there, but it's not the same as people standing up and cheering and, the whole, so I just wish I could recreate that live for you. I was really happy that you won, and, we're so deserving. And I know it means a lot to you.
Yes, it does. I cried, and I'm going to try not to cry now. But it meant the world to me. Of course, I'm not downplaying it at all, but it would have really been wonderful to have received it at a live conference and had Barb Shores on the stage with me. since she is the namesake, if you will, of the award. And, I know it's not an award that is given out lightly at all, because I've seen, people that have been nominated in the past that are just, phenomenal businesswomen, entrepreneurs, stagers, trainers. They have, they really encompass the whole aspect of giving back. And to me, being able to be active on the board of the Austin chapter, being able to be a certified trainer, be on the Austin or the IHOS board, and continuing to, I do a lot of mentoring, and I know that, but I let my students know that I'm there after class as long as they need me until they're ready to cut the apron strings, as we say in the South. Also, we collaborate, as a chapter, we collaborate as a state, we collaborate as an industry. And, the social media pages on Facebook are just, they're just phenomenal, not only for sharing, but for information, for education. And also, just especially now in this new normal we're living in, it's just a great way to stay in touch with everybody. We can't have our local chapter meetings. We can't have our, most of us are still not going into occupied homes. So we're doing, vacant staging and virtual consultations and things like that. So, Facebook is a way of not only for us to share, how the heck we're doing right now in this, crazy world, but also to be able to share, just day-to-day experiences, not only in our personal life, but also, in our professional life. And, the award to me just encompasses just everything that the industry not only has provided for me, but also what I've been able to give back.
And you summed it up perfectly. And so, because the award it's an overall, like encompasses all these different facets of the individual who wins it. So it's not only that you're a mentor and educator, you care about people, you run a great business, you do great staging work, you've been an example, you're a leader. So all those different things. And so I was really happy when the result of the voting came in, and it wasn't even close. And so, you should feel really, really proud.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, God willing, we'll have a live conference next year, and maybe we'll have to recreate the moment for you, because I really want people to, you deserve the standing up and the clapping and the just the warmth. And I know everybody's super happy that you did win it. I just really missed not being able to do that in person for you. And
when I get the award, I'll bring it to conference in Denver, and
yeah,
you can give it to me.
I'll present it to you on the stage. That would be fun. I'd like to do that. So what else is going on in Austin? And Kathryn, we're going to bring you on in just a second. So what's going on? Is business normal, or are you guys still slower?
No, it's probably business. Yeah, in March it kind of went in the toilet. March, April, May was really slow, and then things started opening up. The right now the real estate market is crazy here in Austin. I mean, it's like booming, and people are getting multiple offers and over asking. But yet staging is still, I'm still staging. I'm doing virtual, like I said, consultations. I'm not going into to owner occupied houses yet. I just, I've got to take care of myself, got to take care of my husband, got to be, careful that, nothing happens there. And of course, all of my family, I'm the youngest of 4 children, so all of my siblings are older than me. So
yeah, exactly. You're the baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby. Yeah. So, got to be careful about them and the kids and the grandkids and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm not doing, like I said, owner occupied staging right now, but I am doing virtual, owner occupied, and also, vacant staging, and of course still teaching classes. I've got one, I think, in about 3.5 weeks. So anyway, really, really enjoy the training and giving of my time and talent and my stories, my staging stories. They really love that, that bringing in real life situations to the training, because we go through all of the slides and the before and after pictures and all the education. And then, I just kind of spin off to the side and I go, okay, now let me tell you about a real situation that happened to me. And they really appreciate that. And there's a lot of chat in the chat room back and forth where they can ask questions. So, the virtual training is really, for me, working really well because it does allow me to see them and they can ask questions and, we can communicate and they can open their mics and comment on the before and after pictures and stuff. So the training is one aspect of the industry, the iHouse training that I really enjoy. And I'd like to kind of piggyback on something that Carl said. He was talking about how being a realtor and an ASP, I never actually got my real estate license, but I have taken all of the real estate courses in the state of Texas just so I could educate myself and be able to better communicate with my realtor clients, in dealing with, the staging, bringing the staging in, prior to the photographer getting there. So anyway, yes, I think it's very, very important. And what you said also, Jenny, is to understand the industry and educate yourself on the industry. Know what you're walking into. And especially with the diversity training, I learned so much on that because we never know who our client's going to be. We don't know what nationality they're going to be. So
Right.
we need to be not only educated, but aware of all of the different little cultural things that can tip them off, or tick them off, if you will.
Yeah, because I didn't realize, like, when DP was sharing about East Indian culture, the whole thing about animal hide. I know the cows are sacred to them and so forth, but
Yeah.
to take it a step further, leather furniture, the animal skins,
Yeah.
and those houses are offensive to them.
Yeah.
And so I posted that, and someone was like, "Oh, we use them all the time on our staging, and they look fabulous." I go, "Well, they might look fabulous to you, but you don't know who the buyer is coming in." So if I were staging in an area, that was just one little nugget I took from the
Yeah.
3 hours of session. Is what's happening? Okay, just counted down again, so I
Yeah.
think my connection is farting out. So
Well,
that
and
was a really good nugget. Yeah.
yeah, something that I always tell my students is, there's three major things that you need to really take a close look at when you're planning your staging, as far as what type of furniture and accessories and how you're going to approach the property and that sort of thing. And one of them is knowing who your target market is. You've got to know who that target market is, or how are you going to know, how to stage that property?
Right.
So I think that diversity training has just been tremendously helpful for me, even though I've studied feng shui. I've dealt with several Indian clients. I've dealt with Hispanic. I've dealt with, Black, but still to have that knowledge and to have that certification or, the designation now, I think just further adds to, the other designations that I have, because I'm all about continuing education. I'm all about, continuous learning and, investing in yourself and your company.
Absolutely.
Because you are the face and the brand of the company, and what you bring to your clients is how you are branded. And that's what one realtor is going to share with another, or one home seller is going to share with another. So, you want to make sure that you're all you can be to them.
Right. I agree. And so my wheels are turning. So Kathryn, I'm going to bring her on with us. So Kathryn, I'm going to unmute you and I'm going to bring you in. So it should give you a countdown. And here she is. Hey,
Hi.
Mama Swan.
Hey.
Hey, Mama Swan.
Hey, sweetheart. It's good to be back with my people.
Yeah, with our peeps.
So for people who don't know who you are, tell them your name and where you're from, a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm Kathryn Swan. I'm affectionately known in iHouse as Mama Stager, which I consider a real honor. I have Staging Oklahoma with my daughter, Kimberly. We are Oklahoma's only master-daughter team. And I'm also involved on the iHouse board. and I'm excited to be here. And I was overwhelmed with the staging award that I received for Spirit. Thank you so much.
So Kathryn won the IHOS Spirit Award, and that award is for the person that encompasses, I can say it third time's a charm, encompasses the spirit of IHOS, which is, and as I shared in the video segment to introduce the award winners, is that, IHOS, we're a family. We care about our members. We care about the industry. And so that you're a person who gives back, who shows compassion and caring, genuine, has a real heart for the industry. And what I shared in the package for both of you is very, I hope I was speaking from my heart. I didn't script that anything when I did the intros. It just came out. And, whenever there's a need, like at a conference or whatever, Kathryn, you're right there volunteering. How can I help? How can I help? Asking how to take things off my plate to make my life easier too at the events. And just, anybody who meets you knows that you have just a biggest heart ever. And I know this year has been hard on you for other reasons. And you've, as Sandy said, remain contacting people through Facebook and social media, and being able to be encouraged and uplifted, I think has been super important. And I love you both. I just was really, really happy with the results of the awards. And I know, again, you ran away with the award. It wasn't even close. So.
Well, I was humbled, and it really was exciting to receive this. I love all of our IHOS family, and I do feel like a mama to many and sister to a lot too.
Yeah.
As some of you may not know, I lost my husband in April, and as soon as we got back from Nashville, he ended up in the hospital. This happened also in 2018. So he was a real warrior. He was a strong, strong supporter of IHOS. And I didn't realize until I lost him how much he did support us. And I kind of lost my zest for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming out of it. He spoiled me because he took care of so many things. I was a kept woman. I didn't realize how much he did. And I had to do our taxes for the first time on my own. And when you have a ranch, it's different. It's a lot different. We do have 2 homes right now, and that's overwhelming. But we're trying to turn our ranch into a retreat. And maybe if any of you come see us in Oklahoma, we can take you up there and you could see the Pioneer Woman. She lives on one side of Pahuska and we live on the other. But thanks to Jenny and all of you, I'm ready to get back into the world. And mostly I'm excited to get into writing again and helping Jenny launch our first IHOSP newsletter. Our magazine, virtual magazine, I guess. And I don't know what I'm getting into, but it sounds exciting.
Yeah, so we are going to be doing a virtual magazine, meaning it's going to be sent out. It won't be a hard copy mailed to people, but it will be sent out. And Kathryn has her whole background is she's an excellent writer, and some of you may know that she edited Barb's book, the latest book that came out, Staging the World. Kathryn did the editing on that, which took hours and hours and hours of time. And so we wanted to have a publication for our association that features different topics and members. And so the first one's going to come out in November. And so I'm really happy that that's it'll have the talent that Kathryn has behind the words and the writing. So I'm really excited for that. So you guys will look for that coming out in November. And so that'll be a really good project to work on with you. And then we also have some other things in the works for your writing talent that we've talked about. We just got to get on the stick and make it happen.
So Jenny, are different people going to like submit editorials and stuff once a month and things like that, or?
Yeah, so I mean, we haven't really fleshed the whole thing out. I mean, I think the first issue will recap some of the stuff from conference, some of the topics that were really interesting, and but I want to do a focus on like holidays, holiday trends, and feature some of the members and content. But yeah, people can definitely submit articles. That would be great. So this is the first big reveal for the magazine. So I have it laid out. I sent Kathryn the prototype, and it should be pretty easy to utilize and create these beautiful publications that then can be sent out virtually, email or online. They can be a PDF, they'll be a web-based, they'll also be able to be sent via email. So that's going to be very exciting.
Well, I think I'm excited about it, and I'm thinking as we launch it, we will get input from all of you because I'm thinking maybe humor, concerns, legislation, legalities, IHOS chapters, training, designations, and snippets, as we said, from the convention. And I think it would be wonderful. We have a lot of great writers in our midst, and I welcome their input. And when I share with other writers, it kind of motivates me. They're my mojo, and um, I'm just really excited about it. And may I interject one thing? In downsizing, Kimberly and I are going in another direction with our warehouse and our business, and so we are downsizing our warehouse. This is something Jim asked me to do before he passed. He said he was worried because I was doing these vacant stagings, and he was worried about my health. Since he passed, I've kind of caught up on that. And so we are liquidating our warehouse. We have lots of things that might be of benefit to stagers, lots of props that only stagers would appreciate, TVs and laptops, fruit, pastries. So if anyone's interested, you can Facebook me or something, and I'll be glad to share with you. Thanks for that plug.
Yeah, and I know that, because one thing that's great about our industry is it's not just one. There's not just one pathway for the success. There's a lot of things you can do in it. There's lots of stagers who don't stage any vacant properties. They specialize on the occupied houses, consultations. That's what they want to do. There's some that they don't want to do that side. They just want to do the vacants. Inventory wise, people can acquire it. They don't necessarily have to have it. So you can still stay viable in the industry, make money using your ideas and your talent without necessarily having to have this warehouse and so forth, because it can become a burden, at certain times. And none of us are getting any younger. And so, right, we're young at heart, which is great.
Okay.
So that's good. And I fully support you guys doing that, because you both have had a lot going on. And, there's definitely still, a purpose for you in the industry. You still have clients you're going to be helping, and you have colleagues there too. So one of the things that I've had people say, well, I don't want to stage this house. Can I refer it to you? So you might have a client that has a need for vacant. If you're not able to do that, you can refer it to a colleague. So you don't have to say no or leave them hanging. So I love that about our industry. And you and Kimberly have definitely helped put Oklahoma on the map as far as staging. Oklahoma City is not a small city. I mean, it's Keller Williams. I know Mo Anderson lives there. They've got big offices and other agencies as well. So I think sometimes people think it's sort of like, I don't want to necessarily say Denver, but from like Denver to the east, people sort of forget there's other cities that go between me and the East Coast, right? So
Yeah.
I gotta turn my phone off.
Well, in addition to helping with the newsletter, I want to mentor new stagers and even established stagers and do consultations and possibly do some occupied luxury and mid-luxury. One right before Jim passed, I did have one executive home that I did, and it was kind of an outlet for me. And it turned out that this was a doctor who helped us establish Jim in Oklahoma City. And that was wonderful. He even came to our home. We staged his home, and within an hour of listing, they had a showing. And in a few days, they had 5 showings and 4 offers. And It was a $500,000 home.
That's
So
awesome.
we still have it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. The gift is always there, and also educating. But I know you like to educate as well. So having the opportunity to go into real estate offices and educate them about staging and just help build the industry there too. I know that's a passion of yours too. So, yeah, I mean and I really miss seeing everybody, and I would love to be able to take you up on the retreat. It sounds the ranch sounds beautiful. I know we had planned to do some stuff this fall, but a lot of that's on hold because of COVID. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but there is somebody in our family that is now battling it along with her husband. And that's within the last week or so that came out. It's so we are, sending, who you are if you're watching the show. So just know that we love you and we support you, and let us know if we can do anything to help you, because I know it's really scary to be going through that. You get exposed to it or whatever, and you think like, how many other people have been around? So it's just, everybody still needs to take precautions. To me, it's not going to go away. They may come out with a vaccine. they got the flu vaccine that they do and so forth. So hopefully to help curb or stop some of the spread. But I feel like this, created virus, because in my opinion, I feel like it definitely was engineered. I don't think it was a fluke. I don't think it's going anywhere. So hopefully, if they can get a cure for it, like polio and these other vaccines that came out that did eradicate it, that would be great. So it is interesting times. So we're planning. Yeah.
In the meantime, we stay safe.
That's right.
Yeah, we stay safe and take precautions. So I am staging occupied houses going in. We wore masks. I did a consultation yesterday, wore my mask. And I was kind of thinking just sort of as you were talking, Sandy, I was thinking I probably, next time I do an in-house consultation, I'm gonna let the homeowner open the doors and stuff, because I shouldn't be touching their handles and things like that.
Gloves.
Yeah, I didn't have gloves on, so I will have to start either wearing that or just have them take me around. They both had masks on too, which was good. But it's just good to, take precautions and vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc. And they said now St. John's wort, I guess, is another thing to help boost your immune systems. And, but I miss seeing people. I haven't seen my mom. Normally she would have come out for the conference. And, it's this isolation. It's been hard for a lot of people, not to be able to be around others. So things like this, video chats and so forth, I think are really helpful. But it's gonna be weird when we're all back together again. Should I hug? Should I do the elbow bump? Should I do a fist bump? I can't wait for the time we can just grab someone in for a big hug and not be concerned like maybe they have COVID or something like that.
Yeah.
So we are working on the conference for 2021, as you all know, is me in Denver. So I was like, is our theme going to be reboot?
Oh, that's cute.
Reboot. Let's just do a do-over. So it's
like
going to be
that.
a Gaylord. Yeah, and so I'm working on the logistics and the theme and so forth. But I did want to bring people here, so we're gonna do this again, try it again, and I just really hope that 2021, is a year that we can have a live event, because there's such value in it, But it's all going to depend on the state. So right now, I'm glad I pulled the plug on the conference, because we could have only had 100 people max in the ballroom. That's any size gathering in Colorado, the largest you can have is 100 people. So that just would not have worked for our conference. We would not have, we would have gone way in the hole. So I'm glad that I, made it a virtual. But, that said, it's not like they have a plan for, okay, in January, we're going to bump it up to 150, and then March, it'll be 200. And then by the time October or September rolls around, we'll be at the number that we need. I don't know. So I will be keeping my eyes on that, and of course, working with the hotel, because of course they want us to come and they want all the money.
Well, and you also have to consider the food service and the bar areas, and
everything.
We just don't realize how good we had it, do we, ladies?
That's right.
I know. Well, yeah, you don't really, yeah, and even an event, there probably are live events happening, but I don't want to sit 6 feet away from people. I feel like I'm all by myself and have to wear a mask and see. That to me is that's not worth going to an event if you have to do that. We are going to roll out our first live class in November in Nashville. They've opened up the board. So you can have up to 20 people in there, and they will social distance. But I think that's a different scenario because it's a smaller classroom. So it's still intimate, but a big, huge event, you feed off the energy of other people. So, to be like, you can't even go like, hey, can I borrow your pencil? You'd have to go, hey, you have to throw something at them, hey, might you have an extra pen for me? And you can't just, there's something to be said about, I don't just like being squashed into a room, but I think that the energy you get by having people, around you.
Sharing the candy. Sharing the candy.
Oh, I know all that stuff.
Well, and having lunch sponsors come in and do their, their marketing and sponsor lunch and stuff. That's also much a big part of introducing, the stagers to some of the companies that we have partnered with, So I tell you what, I mean, the virtual classes are going well for me anyway. But I tell you what, I miss those live classes, but I'm not going live until there's a vaccine. So,
yeah. Well, we have, even so the live classes, the lunch sponsors will have to either bring box lunches in, or we'll just tell people bring your own food, or we'll give them a time to go out and you can get something to eat. So I don't want to take the risk. And of course, there's new liability forms. Anybody hosting an event, you have to have people now sign a waiver that if they do contract the virus during an event that you host, that you're going to hold people harmless, because I can't control all of that, but there's all these new things I have to think about as IHOS chairwoman, and also, running staged homes and the classes and the events that we have. It's just a whole new world. I certainly don't want anybody to get sick and die because they attended an event. So a lot of that is just the precautions. And yet I don't.
Jenny, they could attend the event and be asymptomatic and not even know they're having.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
They might sign a release, or you might sign a release after having, everybody, tested in the group, and then come to find out they're asymptomatic, and they, you've taken on the financial responsibility if anything happens, and then we don't even know we're positive.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even I was messaging another, she's actually shared this on Facebook. So Joanne is self-quarantining. She thinks she may have had it. She's had symptoms. She has 6 out of the 8. Joanne Leonard Weary.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was with her in February in Seattle, and I came home and I had the really bad sore throat, the cold that starts right in the back of the throat, really, really severe. I had a fever, and I did stay in bed because that's right when I got Rocky, our little cat, and he was so sick. He got a cold. He sneezed at the shelter, and we brought him home, and he would have died. He would not have made it because he got down to less than 5 pounds because he wasn't eating, but he was sick for 3 weeks with this really bad cold. Not that he had COVID, but because he was sick, I kept him next to me in our bedroom, and I stayed pretty much in bed and worked on my laptop from there. So I think back, I did have some of the symptoms. They hadn't identified it back then. So I wonder, I'd be interested to have a test to see if I'm already, have antibodies against it. It'd be interesting to know that, because that would, I think I might go get a test. I have a physical tomorrow, my annual. I'm not excited. Getting probed. But go get, if you think that it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the risk. But there's things that we can do to kind of, again, boost our immune system and listen to the experts saying. So it's something simple as vitamin C, D we get by being outside. But if, I tend to not go outside very much. I'm like on my computer. So I take D supplements because my vitamin D was low. Iron, they also said, is also something to take a look at. So, there's things we can do as preventive, so that if we do contract something, that we'll have a better chance at warding it off versus somebody else who doesn't always just, boost their immune system naturally. So yeah, it's kind of, it's weird when it strikes close to home, and there's people that, I think Joanne's the first person who's, or I guess this other person that's, you guys both know as well. These are the first ones I know personally that are, dear in my life that have it. So and I'm not saying Joanne has it. She was tested and it was negative, but the doctor said they didn't trust the test. And so they are going to rerun it and just this is precautions, keeping her isolated. But she's had, breathing treatment. She's had some respiratory stuff. So that's why they think it could be. But, I just hope anybody out there, if your family members or, you are struggling with that, I also don't want people to feel like it's a scarlet letter, or like if you admit you have it, that you're now like, get away from me. You know what I mean? That people don't want anything to do with you, you're going to contaminate me. And let's make sure that we don't treat people like they have like a leper or something like that. They can't be around them, they need our support now more than ever. People that do have it, and to just be, encouraged and uplifted, because for a lot of people, it is a battle once they contract it. It manifests in different ways. So it's important. Well, any last words, ladies? I'm going to bring Carl back in if he's still here. So he can jump back in. So I think I can have up to 4 people, which is pretty cool. Carl.
Yeah, I just didn't get an opportunity. I didn't even think about it when I was, as I'm hearing, all of the discussion and stuff. I know that I thanked, everyone that congratulated me on Facebook. But I want to personally just thank everyone for their words of support, words of encouragement, for their congratulations, everything. I really appreciate, all the feedback. You don't know how much the award meant to me, and your comments were even more appreciated. So I just want to say thanks to all my colleagues, my peeps, my staging sisters and brothers, and to all of the leadership. I really appreciate and feel so honored and humbled to receive the award.
Well, you deserved it, and it was every comment I know was sincere from the heart, and you're definitely well loved in the industry for who you are and what you've done and what you contribute and what you're going to be doing, continuing to do. So really
Yeah,
wonderful.
I'm not done yet.
No, no, we're not done yet. That's true. And Mama Swan, same for you, that you are just
Well,
beloved.
thank
Yeah.
you. Well, I want to thank everyone for their support during Jim's illness. These last 2 years have been really rough, and having the love and support of my staging family means so much to me. You are truly family, and I thank you for the honor of the award. And like I told you, I was totally blown away. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you.
Well, and you deserve it as well. And it was, again, my only regret is not being able to give these to you guys in person, because I would love to have been able to give a hug as well, besides just an award. So, you know that we love you, and both of you. And Carl, former rising star, thank you for being on. And any final words you want to share?
I did want to thank you for putting together an awesome conference. It was just pretty amazing. Few technical issues, but once I got past it, I was good. It was really great information. Learned a lot, and look forward to the next one. And hope that we will be live again.
That's my hope too. So, well, thank you all for being on. I can't believe the time is up, so I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I'll wrap up the show. So thank you, Carl. Thank you, Kathryn. And thank you, Sandy. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another segment for you and some new exciting news to share. So until then, have a great rest of your week. Stage safely, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.